Yeah. Yeah, that's the greatest theme song of all time. It's up there. It's up there. All right, so if you haven't figured it out by now, we are going to be discussing Batman. Batman. All right, that's enough of you theme song from Batman the Animated Series. Anyway,
There's never enough.
no, never enough. It goes
Never enough.
that and X-Men are probably the best like theme songs I can remember. That X-Men theme song went harder than it should have. You got
once the guitar went on, you knew it was.
Oh yeah, it was going down when that guitar hit. All right. So yeah, we are going to be discussing the Batman, the legendary Batman, probably the most popular superhero next to maybe Spider-Man. Might be the only one maybe bigger, but I would say Batman.
Well, I would think that iconic would be Superman.
Well, Superman is iconic, but I don't know about popular.
I mean, come on. What kid doesn't? You know, how many kids wear Superman underwear versus Spider-Man underwear? No one wants to taste depression and family death before they go to sleep, even though Superman lost his whole planet. Yeah, I know.
Like that's his whole story.
But it's funny how Superman is just so happy, and then Spider-Man just lives in the misery.
But is Superman happy? I think he's miserable too. But we're not here to talk about Kal-El's old weak self chump.
Freaking Boy Scout.
Yeah, God, who cares about Superman? We're talking about Batman today, one of my favorite superheroes, even though I talk a lot of shit about him. But I feel like the disdain that I have for Batman has come from like the over-the-top Batman fans who have that one theory with prep time. That with prep time argument is one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard in my life. But like, I get it and I understand it in the confines of a comics, but come on, at some point we just have to admit that he can't beat everybody. He just can't.
The only person he can't beat with prep time is himself.
This is because himself would have the same amount of prep time. They'd be prepared for each other. It'd be stupid.
It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. So the question that I had thought of, I did this before, but I did it by myself, and I wanted to spitball this with other people. You're the only one who jumped in, so thank you for that.
My pleasure.
For me, the question is Batman good for Gotham? I have, initially when I was younger, so I was like, of course, obviously he keeps Gotham safe. But the question now is he really good for Gotham? Like, is Gotham better because he's in it, or are they worse off because he's in it? So I'll lead it with your initial thoughts. What do you think?
It's kind of, I'm also one of the people who debates with this. This is practically a paradox or a conundrum, because you break it down on so many different levels, and I know he's doing well. He's helping, he's trying, and he's not just doing it in ways that can be ignored, because he helps Gotham twofold. He helps as Bruce Wayne, and he helps as the Batman.
Right.
It's always that, all these philanthropists, they're always there for the photo op. They're there for, the publicity. But Bruce Wayne is the one who actually puts on the cowl and goes into the streets to make a difference. But does he?
I was going to say, because for me, I feel like as Batman, he thinks he's making a difference because he's fighting. I think the early days of Batman, when he was taking down mobsters and, purse snatchers and criminals, he was definitely making a difference. And that to me is one of my favorite things about Batman and Spider-Man, for that matter, is that they're for the little guy and they don't really deal with world enders and things like that. They're usually here to help the city. The stakes aren't nearly as high as they are like Superman, where every other day there's like a comet coming towards Earth, or there's a space alien ready to enslave all of humanity. But you don't get that with it's not the same with Batman. And I think that's what made him helpful. But once I think once we introduce Batman to the Justice League, I think everything changed. And that to me is the word. I don't like Justice League Batman. I like Batman by himself with the Bat
Well,
family and all those people. I don't want to see him fight aliens and stuff. He's always got the lamest thing to do.
it's like, hey everyone, you brought your superpowers, right? And Bruce, you got your utility belt, right?
Got your wallet with you?
Yeah, you got your wallet. Yeah, no kidding. Ain't that the truth? It's like, why is he here? Well, someone's got to bankroll this.
Exactly.
It ain't going to be the reporter.
We know it's not going to be the reporter. But and then one of my things is, okay, because you mentioned him helping out as Bruce Wayne. Outside of, well, yeah, okay. And that outside of, I don't think I've ever seen Bruce Wayne do anything for Gotham. Can you help me? What is Bruce? Because I feel like he could do more as Bruce Wayne than he could ever do as Batman.
And that's true, and that's been covered, like, even in the movies. It's a great scene between Michael Caine and Christian Bale. And it's like, Gotham needs you, your resources, your money. It doesn't need your body.
Exactly.
And Bruce, Batman, I should say, being who he is like, no, you don't understand. You don't get it, old man. This is the way it works. This is the only way I could make it happen. And
right.
And it's like, you're creating more demons. You're creating many more demons by trying to keep up the Cape Crusader than anything. And that's really what it boils down to when you think about what he could do as Bruce Wayne versus what he does as Batman.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like in the earlier days, taking down mob bosses, and even like you look at movie iterations, you look at comic iterations, you look at animated iterations. It's like the biggest differences he made were exactly as you said, when he was taking down, working for the little guy.
Yeah.
Because the bigger the stakes get, the worse things get. So it's like, okay, an example I like, and I'll go to the cartoon origin, would be Clayface.
Before you go, I would like to say that Batman the Animated Series will always be the definitive version of Batman for me. Yeah. So yeah, you could always go to that as reference. It works the best.
Yeah. And it's like, we'll go with Clayface. Okay. And it's perhaps one of the most beautiful episodes because it was the most tragic.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
It was when he was trying to cure himself. He was starting to break down. He was falling apart.
Yeah.
He was trying to cure himself. And what does Batman do?
He stops him.
He stops him. And then when they do the new revamped edition of the series, how it continues.
Yeah.
But now it's new animators that they could continue with parallel with Superman. They kept all the stories going together. So now you get an even worse Clayface.
Yeah, he was like all jacked. It was.
Yeah.
And then the thing that's a thing that I've also wrestled with too, because you can, one of the questions that's always been presented, whether it be the comics, animated series, movies, whatever, is do the super villains, the higher ups, not the mob bosses, but like the bigger villains, do they exist because of him? You know what I mean? Like the Riddler's whole thing is he wants to prove he's smarter than Batman. Yep. The Joker's whole thing is I want an enemy to fight forever. You know what I mean? Penguin just wants to be rich again. So granted, he's like, but a lot of these dudes literally have very simple motives. Mr. Freeze isn't trying to kill anybody. He's trying to get research for his wife's thing, and for his wife's condition so that he can cure it. And guess what? Batman knows that, which means Bruce Wayne knows that, which means he could fund that. But instead, he's just like, every time he puts on that suit, I'm gonna fuck him up. Like that's it. That's as far as he thinks it through.
And I love how Mr. Freeze. I love that you brought up Mr. Freeze because again, we can just keep going back to the animated series. The way he ended with Sub-Zero, and then the way he was reintroduced in Batman Beyond, and it's like all the cycle just keeps on going, and it's like Mr. Freeze is in this never-ending Nora Freeze Foundation, you know,
Yeah.
trying to help. And it's like, but, you know, that's just a parable for all of big pharma to begin with, and it's great. But it's like, okay, Bruce, like instead of being Batman on that one, you really should have just been Bruce and been
That
like,
was
hey,
it.
Mr. Freeze, instead of, you know, like, I don't know, like doing all these bad things to try and fund, you know, you're a doctor, you're a
Right.
genius. I'm going to create this foundation and try to help you out. And, but does he do that? No, because
Nah.
we got, you know, he put on this, like you say, oh, what? I was going to help, but that suit went on, and you know what that means. So, yeah, I would say I love Batman. He is my favorite DC character. He really is. I think he has the best villains.
Yeah.
He
No,
has
hands
the best
down.
stories.
Hands down.
You know, it's like everyone else. It's like, what do we got? Oh, well, we got a super angry alien. We got a super angry robot. We got a super angry
alien robot.
You know, yeah. Alien robot. Yeah, I know. Jeez, can't
But
forget about Brainiac now, can we? And it's like okay, like.
well, Stan Lee
So
once made a
what?
good point about the differences between DC and Marvel, and it was very simple. He was like, DC characters just exist. You know what I mean? They're just like, one day there's a guy, he's got superpowers, he can fly. There's no reason for his ability to fly, but he can fly. Whereas the
Yeah,
majority of Marvel characters, there's a reason for their flight ability. Like Thor
yeah,
can't fly without the hammer. The hammer the hammer does the work essentially. It's magic, but he can't do it without it. Then you have Iron Man who has, the suit. You have Storm who rides wind currents and so forth. Like everybody has a very specific means of what is going on and why, whereas like DC
yeah.
characters are just kind of like, you know what, wouldn't it be
Isn't
cool
it?
to have somebody who's like super strong? Whoa, what if we made Superman but they were a woman, and then we get Wonder, you know what I mean? Like it's just the
Yeah.
same stuff over and over again. But you're right, because he is the most interesting. I wanted to ask you one about the no kill rule, Batman's no kill rule, which in the movies I highly doubt he actually follows, but in
Well,
he says he does, but he kills a lot. And we just don't like to acknowledge the kills.
whether directly or indirectly, it's like there's a wake of bodies. You know,
Yeah.
it's like no shooting, and I'm like, didn't you just like blow up that one thing?
You snap
Like,
the guy's neck like he's not surviving that. Yeah, but that's honestly kind of one of the things I did like about even though it was a terrible movie, was about Batman versus Superman, was his just completely disregard for that rule, where he was just like, fuck it. If I don't kill them, they're being branded and they're going to get murdered in prison. Like I enjoyed that, because it's,
yeah,
to me, the no kill rule is logical when you're dealing with like mobsters and stuff like that. You want to bring them to justice. You want the law to take care of that. I get that. But when we're
yeah,
talking about the most specific answer, obviously, it's no secret, the Joker.
the Joker.
He should not be alive. Like there's
No,
no reason for the Joker to be alive.
and it's like it would be like, okay, so what's your goal here besides that meme? You know, where it's like, well, Bruce Wayne owns, you know, Blackgate Prison and Arkham, so you know, stay woke.
Yeah, right. Oh, of course, that makes sense. He's funneling all these people through, and it just makes him a lot. But even if that was the case, to me, it feels like, let's say we use police brutality as an example, right? Their
Mhm.
their excuse for a lot of it is, oh, I feared for my life. Okay, this is a clear example. We don't even have to guess with the Joker at this point. We know what he's going to do.
Yep.
So if you just seeing him walking down the street, I would fear for my life. And I think that's as good a reason to shoot this motherfucker as any. But
And nothing, no one ever,
and
nothing. Just
then, but not even that. Let's get to the wake of personal bodies he's left. We start with Jason Todd and what he's done, what he did. He killed Jason Todd, and Batman didn't even do it. Batman didn't. He barely hit him. You know.
Yeah.
What I mean? And then, of course,
and then it goes into the traumas that, you know, it's like we look at what happened to Tim Drake. We look at what happened to
yep.
Barbara Gordon.
And we look at what that did to Dick Grayson.
Yeah. You know, like everything that happens, it's this wake of death and destruction that he leaves behind on this moral high horse. So it's like, are you really actually doing anything better, or are you just trying to convince yourself? And I love that about Batman, because it's everything that happens in the Batman mythos is actually a parable for things in real life. It's like everything about Batman is like a study in ethics. It's like, would you kill a murderer to save a life? Would you steal a loaf of bread to feed your family? It's everything that happens there is so, you get in the movies, it's like in a post 9/11 world, you kind of start diving into, okay, at what cost do we fight terrorists?
Right. Right.
So that's all covered, and you see him struggle with it all the time, but it's like, we can appreciate it, but while you're dealing with the dilemma, that's why you're supposed to be the Batman.
Yeah.
That's why you're supposed to be the Dark Knight, so that you can be the one who carries that burden and not be the hero. Because a city like Gotham, it doesn't need
it doesn't need Superman.
Boy Scout. It needs the Dark Knight. And while he's conflicted with it and battling it, how many people die? How much more corruption?
And that's that thing. There was, what's that line from Wanted? Kill one, save 1,000, or something like that. Like, I do believe that at a certain point, Batman, especially since he's gatekeeping the job, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's been lots of vigilantes, Huntress, and he stopped her because he was like, "Oh, your way isn't working." I was like, "What do you mean it's not working? Those guys can never do anything again. It's definitely working." You know what I mean?
It's like, and I like to bring this comparison. It's like, let Frank Castle go into Gotham for a weekend,
clean the fuck up.
Like, I'm just saying, I hate to make the DC Marvel comparison, but a lot of times it's so easy to, because it's like,
it's not the same, not even remotely, because the rules in that universe don't work the same way. If Batman kills, we look at, he immediately becomes a villain. Ghost Rider, Frank Castle, shit, even Luke Cage at times, they kill indiscriminately. And it works. it works.
It's like, I can't believe you killed them. And I'm like, I guarantee you they won't kill again. You know, it's
right.
Like,
let Moon Knight go to Gotham. It's a whole different ball game. And I just saw like a video where they asked him this question: could Joker survive in the Marvel universe? And he immediately said exactly what you just said. Frank Castle, hell no. He is not going, because Batman's hesitant to kill him is what the Joker counts on. He knows that.
Yeah.
And he goes against Frank Castle. Yo, it's only going to take you once.
This is not going to end well.
Point him in the right direction. Like that's all you got to do. But
it's like, I'm not liking my odds here. But, it's great because, and that's why I like to keep Batman in such a separate bubble.
Yeah.
Because it's so, it goes into, it's hard to relate, almost impossible to relate with any of the conflicts that ever plague Superman.
Yeah,
like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
Only time
I ever, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, I think the only good representation we'll get in our lifetime of Batman of Superman was Smallville.
It was the closest thing to good representation. Yeah.
Yeah, because
it wasn't
you're
a completely
at least
accurate
to
Superman
him.
story, but it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but still so good.
It was good.
But,
I agree.
Yeah, so that's as close as you'll ever get to it, and I really feel that way, because other than that, it's like, who cares? Like, Superman, oh, you're having a problem with what? With what freaking Baldy is doing? Like, really? Because you can't travel faster than like anything else. So as soon as he's done, monologuing, you could zip right to where the problem is.
Yeah.
Solve it and be right back and be like, oh, you're talking about this detonator? Like,
pretty much. Yeah.
And it's so hard to relate to that, because it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
With Batman, at least, there's so many real world parallels that you're like, yeah, okay, I can get it. I understand.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, as much as I want to root for Batman, If you go off of his classic trope of not killing, he does more damage as Batman when he could do so much more good as Bruce Wayne.
Exactly.
And that's unfortunate. And who knows how they're gonna continue the story with movies and comic adaptations and the series. But like you said, the original Batman animated series was definitive because that was real change. That was the stuff that mattered. And when you looked at it, it's like, it's very much like a Spider-Man thing. Another great comparison where it's like, yeah, he's actually, the little guy is getting robbed, or the little guy, the little girl is about to get mugged, you know, because in a cartoon it has to be mugged instead of what we know what it really is going to be, you know?
Exactly. We can't say my
that. Purse. Yeah.
Your purse. That's what I'm after.
Your purse. So the series really showed Batman the best he could do. But as the story goes on, the stakes get bigger and the spectacle has to match.
Yeah.
Batman does more harm than good because of his rules, because of what he has to represent. When you go into the DCEU and it's like, dude, we got Superman killing people now. Like, Batman, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like, Aquaman murders indiscriminately. Like, what, you know what I mean? Yeah. As he should. Like, at the end of the day, because I feel like the difference between justice, you're talking about, like, if you want to talk about justice, what Batman brings justice to is like we alluded to earlier, the mobsters, you know, the muggers, the people who rob banks. That those people will get justice. They will do their appropriate time for the crime. When we're talking about people like, let's just use Superman, for example. Brainiac. There's no reason to keep Brainiac alive. Literally, not one. Darkseid, not a single reason to keep him alive. Let's even look at, like, Marvel. Let's go to Endgame. When Thor finally cut off Thanos' head, everybody kind of looked at him like, what the fuck did you do? He was like, what do you mean, what the fuck did I do, bro? What I had to do? Like, what do you think is going on here? What do you think is going to happen if we let him live? He's you know what I mean? Like, you have to take that into accountability. And I feel like the only issue I have with Batman's no-kill rule is it's extreme. There's no gray area for it. Like, you should be like, okay, if there's no option, you know what I mean? Or if you can exercise any other option, sure, don't kill. But let's be real. A lot of times it's not really going to be an option because we're talking about other people's lives on the line. Which Batman was it with Two-Face and Riddler? Batman Forever, right?
With Two-Face
and the Riddler, right? That was Batman Forever, right?
Forever, yeah.
Okay, yeah. At the end of Batman Forever, this dude literally lets Two-Face drop to his death because he knew he had to make a choice. The choice was, I either save Robin or I stop them both. Well, one of them niggas is going to have to die, and the other one I'm going to have, you know, good thing I have this chick with me to help save her. You know what I mean? It made more sense than him being like, oh shit, what am I going to do? I can't stop anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'll just let everyone go. He killed him. He knew he had to because he was going to get out and do it again and do it again and do it again and do it again.
Yeah.
Whereas which one's the one with Catwoman? Dark Knight Rises. When he goes like, no guns. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? These dudes have guns.
And then it's like how he, you know, the gray area for it. It's like, okay, no guns, no killing, but it's okay to shoot up a freaking a truck carrying a bomb until they go over a bridge and they're obviously going to die. That's okay. I didn't kill them. It was gravity that killed them. You know?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I think so.
But when I think about his no killing rule, I always think about Enter the Red Hood, the movie, because it has one of Jason Todd's best line when he finally realizes who the Red Hood is and he lures him in. He basically captured the Joker, beat the shit out of him. Now he's going to kill him. And his whole thing is he wants Batman to see it happen. And he tells him straight up, look, shit happens. I could die at any time. That was the risk I took when I signed on to be this. I get that. But the fact is, this man not only killed me, killed hundreds, did all of this stuff, paralyzed Barbara, you know what I mean? Made your life a complete and living hell. Why is he still alive? If I died, why is he still alive? Still, and Batman's only answer, it's just not the way. Like that's how. I'm sorry. Look,
kind of the way.
If Joker kills you, or if he paralyzes Brittany or anything like that, guess what? I'm killing that motherfucker. Not even for that, but that has to be like the last straw at some point, right?
Yeah, and it should be. And that's when it comes to those points where you're like, come on now, like seriously? Because, it's like, well, if he kills him, then he's also a murderer.
So?
No, he's not. He's not being a murderer. But it's like, what are you going to do? If your whole thing is justice, bring someone to justice. What, you think the Joker wouldn't get the chair?
He would get 3 chairs if they could.
Yeah, it's like, he's criminally insane. We can't.
Bullshit. No, that can only work for so long.
That he wouldn't even get the sleaziest of the sleazy lawyer. Like even that lawyer would be like, look, I'm here because the law requires me to be here, but he already threatened to murder my family. So I'm not. You say whatever you want. I'm not going to object once. Okay.
My job is going to be very easy. Your Honor, my client has killed hundreds of people. That's my opening statement.
Yeah. He's murdered thousands of people, and there was no excuse for it. But in Gotham, things can happen. Thank you.
But yeah, it's that area. It's kind of like I said, I love Batman because the relatability of him. He's just helping. Yes. When he's helping the little guy, Batman is the best hero, period.
He shines.
But you throw him in with the Justice League. That's why even like with the Justice League movie, regardless of how bad this, them trying to bring out the Snyder Cut to make it work, it doesn't work because it still makes Batman look like a chump. Like he's just some guy hanging around. It's like when your 4-year-old brother tries to come out and hang out with you guys. It's like, yeah, all right, what the fuck are you doing here? You're no help. It's like, oh my God.
Do you see what's going on out here? Why are you here? Like, what are you doing?
It's just bad.
So
I would say, if we're just gonna get to the answer, if you ask me if Batman is good for Gotham, no. And I also think that he does not want to be. He prefers to dress up as Batman because at any chance of him being replaced, he freaks the fuck out and comes out of retirement. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when Bane broke his back and Azazel became the new Batman, he was just like, or Azrael became the new Batman, he was just like, no, I can't have that. I gotta go back and do my thing again because Azrael was fucking killing people. He was like, yo, no survivors.
and that's such a good point, and never really thought of it that way. And it's like, oh wait, yeah. But you always think, and that was I love the Chris Nolan trilogy. I do, and
yeah, it was good.
That's one of the themes that Alfred always carried over Bruce. It was like, it's like, no, I'm afraid you want to fail. I'm afraid you want to die. I'm afraid that you want to go out there and go down like that. So it's like
it definitely feels that way because even let's look at is it the beginning of The Dark Knight when Scarecrow is setting up a deal to take down some bad guys, and he was just like, no, we're trying to help you, motherfucker. He's like, I don't need your help anymore. Like, why are you the only one who's allowed? And that's always been Batman's thing, where he's a gatekeeper, where it's like,
what gives you the right? Exactly. What gives you the right? I'm not wearing hockey pads. Well, no, you're wearing a suit of armor. Like, what's
like at the end of the day, he enjoys being Batman more than he enjoys helping Gotham.
Yes. Sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
I'm out here enjoying the joys of commerce.
Nah, good times. Batman wouldn't help you with that.
No, he wouldn't. It was like he could drop his wallet, but no, he's like,
imagine the stimulus they must have gotten in Gotham, knowing that Batman, like Bruce Wayne's building is right there. They'd be like, hey, buddy, a lot of us can't work.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna need some money. Would have been more than that 600 that they was trying to drop that time.
Yeah, right.
He'd have been like, all right, here's a $10,000 stimulus. The next one will come soon. Like, if Gotham wasn't taken care of with Bruce Wayne is there during COVID, I'm sorry, nobody's getting taken care of.
Yeah, right. No kidding. It's like,
Yeah.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
So, final thoughts. What do you say? Batman good for Gotham or no?
I would say as much as I want to, he's not. It's
yeah.
You understand what's going on, you understand what he's trying to accomplish, but at the end of the day, it's like,
it's not
going about it so wrong.
Yeah.
And you're unfortunately causing more problems than you're solving.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Well, because we're gonna get out of here right now. But I wanted to thank. I wish we would have had at least one more person here for the contrast. You know, somebody who disagreed.
Thank you.
But it's just us right now. And you know, hey, look, anybody else, if you watch this next time for whatever topic, please jump in. The debates are awesome.
Yeah, and it's like I wanted. You know, I'm such a huge Batman fan, but you know, you look at the history of it, and it's like you can't help but it's just like Tony Stark. You know, it's like it doesn't matter how much you love Tony Stark. It's like you create more problems than you solve.
Facts.
But the difference there is like Tony Stark is like, you know, it's okay that I made my billions off of murder and death, but everyone else, no, you guys need to stop that because I had a change of heart.
Yeah, exactly. Him basically stopping other people from making the same kind of money he did just because he doesn't believe in that anymore. It's kind of like, I don't know, but I think you're virtue signaling right now.
Where have we heard that in corporate America before?
As soon as the rich white man starts doing something.
It's like, pull yourself up from your own bootstraps.
But just not the exact same way I did it. No, man, for real. But man, I appreciate you doing this with me, man. And we'll have to do the next one for sure.
Yeah, well, now that we kind of figured out technical difficulties, the next one will be much better because then we'll actually be geared up for it and much more capable. So, but thank you. And a quick question.
Yeah.
Batman, good for Gotham? Bad? She says bad.
Bad for Gotham? Bad. Yeah, okay. I mean, all right, fair enough. Thank you for the input. I thought maybe one person might disagree, but here we are. All right, man.
We love them.
It was good having you here, buddy. Thank you.
But it's like, I just need Frank Castle to go into Gotham for one weekend, and
clean
then
that shit
Batman can do the rest.
For sure, man. But I appreciate you, man. All right, you have a good one, man. Take care.
Yep. Next one. Can't wait for the next one.
Peace.
Yep.